Hey everyone, Andrikats here, and today we're gonna check out the racial abilities of the upcoming race class combo, Dracthyr Evoker. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and follow me over on Twitch, where you can find me playing some Dragonflight Alpha, doing keys, raids, or just chatting. Okay, so let's jump right into it. First ability on the spellbook is Tail Swipe, which is what you will expect from a typical dragon, and what it does, it's basically knocking the enemies high up in the air. So it could easily interrupt their casts, but they must be in a close range of about 6 yards, and it has a 1.5 minutes cooldown. Next, I will jump to Wing Buffet, because it's kind of similar to this one. Instead of knocking them up in the air, it's knocking them back, away from you, so it's good to get away if you are in a tight spot, and again you can use it to interrupt their abilities. The range is probably a bit larger than the Tail Swipe ability, but the cooldown is the same 1.5 minutes, so you need to be a bit careful when to use them. Then the next two abilities are Chosen Identity and Visage. The first one is an ability that when you use, it gets activated and you will be in your Visage form whenever you are out of combat or when you are done with soaring. I'll get to soar shortly in a little bit. When you press again the Chosen Identity, it gets deactivated and you will stay in your Dracthyr form always, so even if you are out of combat or in combat. Just to clarify though, when you're using your spells or when you are soaring, you will always be in your Dracthyr form, because it will look a bit silly if you were in a humanoid Visage form casting fire breaths or flying. Imagine how would that look. That's all about the first ability. The second one, the Visage ability, makes you transform into the other form, so Dracthyr or Visage. It says also that when you choose to be in Visage form, you will have increased health regeneration when you are out of combat. As I can tell, we only can get healing when in Visage form. You get around 2.5k heal at the moment. So I will say it's better to have it on at all times, and when you are out doing quests and whatnot. Okay, so Glide is the next ability, and I will say it's a straightforward one. When you are falling and activate this ability, you basically glide, kind of like demon hunters do at the moment. You can easily activate it by just pressing the space bar or whatever key you have assigned to jump, and it's usable in both Visage and Dracthyr forms. When in Visage, it's appearing like a cloud, kind of like the priest ability Levitate. Now onto the most exciting one, the Soar. You will probably expect that a Dracthyr must be able to fly like all of the rest of the dragons, and with this ability he's able to. Soar follows the same principles as dragon riding, and there is even a passive spell called Principles of Soaring that explains how it works. So when you point yourself downward, you get momentum, and when you go upwards, you slow down. When at your slowest, you will start to fall slowly until you eventually reach the ground. You will also get access to these two abilities. Surge Forward has 2 charges, and it lets you flap forward a short distance, granting you a bit of speed. And with the Skyward Ascent, you flap upwards, gaining height at the cost of some momentum. This has only 1 charge. These abilities will not recharge until your next use of Soar, so you have to use them carefully. Now let's talk about numbers. How fast can Dracthyr actually go? Well, in the early stages of Alpha, it used to go much faster, and then Blizzard decided to nerf it around 30%. So now Dracthyr fly at 640% speed, which is still much faster than a regular flying mount. To compensate though for the nerf speed, they also reduced the cooldown from 5 minutes it used to be, it went down to 4 minutes. And when you have fully explored the continent you are on, you will also get Familiar Skies, another passive spell which further reduces the cooldown from 4 minutes to 3 minutes. Also, it's worth mentioning that the cooldown will start after you land. And soaring is available in the all continents as well, so you can soar in Kalimdor or Eastern Kingdoms or Pandaria or, all of the other continents. You obviously cannot use this ability when you are inside of buildings, you have to be out in the open. Pretty cool, right? You know what, it will make it even more cool and exciting if Dracthyr could use Soar instead of the normal flying mount, because I feel it makes much more sense to just be able to fly as Dracthyr and not be obligated to use another vehicle to travel around. Like, especially in the Dragon Isles, they should at least enable it there and then work their way into the older continents as the expansion progresses. Just simply remove the cooldown altogether so evokers can use it instead of the regular mount. Just leave it out of combat and only in the outside world. Okay, now let's talk a bit of the passive racials. Dracthyr get the Awaken, which increases your mastery by 2.5%, which is not bad for a caster. The next racial ability, Discerning Eye, helps a bit with finding mining and herbalism nodes, and on top of that you have a higher chance to find rare materials. And last but not least, Dracthyr will talk Draconic and Orcish or Human, depends if you are allied with the Horde or Alliance. And that pretty much covers it all. Obviously this is still alpha, so everything is subject to change. I think they did a pretty great job to create something unique and fitting to the Dracthyr race. And that's it. As always, thank you so much for watching my content, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like, make sure to subscribe if you wanna see more videos like this, and hit that notification bell. Good luck with whatever you're doing, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!